Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Praveen from Work Life with Praveen again. And in today's episode, we will be speaking about one key element that all managers, all leaders, all captains of the teams have to be good at, which is coaching and mentoring. Now, I have broadly defined coaching and mentoring in four different segments. One is the coaching, obviously. Then comes the mentoring. Now, within mentoring, we will be speaking about how can you mentor for actually bringing a positive development in an individual. Then we will look at one of the key elements which I think is important for any people leader is giving a feedback, because there's a lot of confusion around giving a feedback and what feedback actually means. That is where I would spend a lot of time. And then we will move on to the last pillar, which is when it comes to coaching, when it comes to mentoring, when it comes to feedback. All this is necessary for you to actually plan the succession. It could be a succession of a particular role within your team. Probably it could be a succession of your own role. Let's say, fast forward 5 years, 10 years from now, if you are a new manager, or let's say if you are a manager who just became a manager for, let's say, 2 or 3 years, or let's say if you are a manager for quite some time now and you're planning to actually move into the next stage, which is probably a senior manager or a director, how is that you would have to plan? Now, all these four key elements are important in an individual manager's life or in their career. So that is what we will cover in today's episode. So yeah, we'll quickly get started. Now, to begin with, as I said, the first piece of any people leader or any manager uh, is to understand what coaching is all about, how to deliver a good coaching session. Now, coaching, as the term suggests, it's not training. That is now the reason why I'm starting with the the two most synonym or so-called synonym words is because it is important for us to understand the difference between training and coaching. Now, a manager's job could be training an individual. However, it definitely is about coaching. Now, training, probably a manager doesn't have to be a subject matter expert to train an individual. So let's say if I'm a manager for a team that is developing a particular software or a particular app for, let's say, iPhones, which is phone made by Apple. Now, I might not be a subject matter expert in a particular programming language that is being used to develop or maintain a particular app, which is available on the App Store. And that is where the subject matter expert will come in picture, which is someone in your team who has been there for quite some time, who has done the same thing day in, day out, knows the in and out of a particular product or particular app or particular programming language. Now, that person can take care of the training piece. The place where the manager plays an important role is coaching. Now, coaching is in different forms. I mean, it can come in different forms. One, it can come in the day to day life. So let's say if I'm an engineer working on a particular case in a particular way, and my manager says that, hey, you know what, probably you can do better in handling a particular case in this particular way. Now, that is where I would expect my manager to elaborate, not train, remember, because I have already received the training that is needed. I need coaching to understand where I'm going wrong. As a manager, it is my responsibility. If I'm a manager, it is my responsibility to look at the blind spots of where this individual is unable to see, and probably make that small little tweak, make that small little change, in the way that person is working on a particular issue, a particular problem statement, a particular bug, or whatever that is, and probably help the individual to get that fixed as soon as possible. As a manager, I don't need a subject matter expertise to coach that person. Yes, I would need a little bit of a knowledge, but I don't have to be a subject matter expert. All I need is my years of experience. I should be able to draft those years of experience in a way that this individual can understand in the most easiest way. And he or she is able to agree or at least get aligned to what I am saying for his or her own benefit. And obviously, the team's benefit and the organization's benefit as well. Let me give you another example. Now, let's say I'm good at, let's say, tennis, right? Now, somewhere down the line, when I started playing tennis, over a period of time, I realized that my physical ability doesn't allow me to become as good as the professional players are out there. Now, yes, I can push my limits. Yes, I can train as hard as I can. But let's agree. I mean, let's say if I'm not built for tennis, which is extremely physical sport and it takes a toll mentally as well. But let's say if I'm not built in a particular way to actually become the world's best tennis player out there, or even become a professional player for your country or for your state or whatever, that is when I would decide that, hey, you know what? This is the game. This is a sport I really love. But there is something which I'm missing in my physical ability to actually become the best tennis player out there. Then I will go back, try to understand what am I good at. I don't want to stay away from tennis because this is the love of my life. This is the game that I love, the sport I love the most, and I want to be involved with it in a particular way. Now, that is where I will use my years of learning, my strategies, the things that probably I did to get better at tennis in the previous years. And that is when I would start coaching individuals who would want to become professional players someday, or probably they are doing just for the fun of it because it is extremely fun sport as well. Now, from a player, I became a coach. Now, a coach's job is to make sure that the player is able to make the absolute best of his or her potential to achieve whatever his or her objective is. So that is the main objective of a coach. A trainer is someone who has got a subject matter expertise on a particular field. It could be sport, it could be, let's say, a particular stream of work, it could be a particular stream of knowledge. What I would do as a trainer is I would pass on those years of learning in the same particular way that I have received it. Probably I might not make a lot of changes to it. Probably I would not add a lot of myself learning to it. Probably I might not be able to even adapt to this particular individual's need as well. And that is where the coach comes in. As a coach, I will try to work with a couple of trainers, try to get the most or the exact information that is needed at this particular hour. I will try to customize it so that this person can understand to his or her abilities, and then I'll be able to deliver that message so that it's good for this individual. It could be trying to make him understand his limitations, or probably go beyond the limitations. And that is where me as a manager will play a role of a coach. I hope I was able to explain the key difference between a trainer and a coach. And let's say if you need further examples, please put that in the comment section, and probably I will make another video, and probably I will go in detail within and try to explain more differences, or I will try to explain in detail what a trainer and a coach is. Now, moving on, we will get into the bit which is the second pillar, which is mentoring. Now, as a manager or as a leader, there would be a lot of times, probably it is a weekly agenda, that you will have to mentor an individual as well. Now, mentoring and coaching is pretty much the same. It's just that when it comes to mentoring, you will go step by step. Now, coaching doesn't have to be step by step. Yes, there could be a lot of situations where you will say, okay, you'll have to do A, B, C, and D. But mentoring is something probably you will look at, let's say, a replay of a particular game. I'm taking an analogy of sports. So let's say, as a mentor, I will try to play a video of the most recent match and try to go frame by frame to help this individual understand where he or she can get better, and or probably where he or she basically lost the match, and things such as so that is when it comes to mentoring. A mentor is someone who will try to understand from your experiences, um, from your situation, to see how we can course correct it. Coaching, on the other hand, is something where probably you'll push a person beyond the limit. And those are the two key differences between mentoring and coaching as well. Uh, I mean, I hope I'm not confusing you, because these three terms are used very loosely. So when I say training, when I say coaching, when I say mentoring, probably a lot of people might think of it all the same, but that's not what it is. And I hope I was able to explain you the key differences. And like I said, if you need further examples, if you need further explanation, please put that in the comment section, and I will try to make another video, and I will try to dig deeper into it, which will probably help you understand it in detail. Now, the third pillar, which is for any for any manager to kind of make sure that he or she is getting the best out of the team, is feedback. Now, this is my most beloved topic. Because loosely, I mean, people have started using the word feedback very loosely, especially in the current circumstances, corporate world, non-corporate world, it, non-it. Pretty much I can think of any industry, and people say things such as feedback is a gift, but it is a gift if it is given rightly. And that is what I have been telling to most of my team members. I have been telling my peers, my colleagues who were pouncing on giving feedback for pretty much everything. Now, if someone is giving a feedback, the so-called feedback for pretty much everything, then it doesn't sound like a feedback. It pretty much sounds, or it starts to get sounding, or it starts to get uh, 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 to become. I mean, it starts to becoming kind of a complaint rather than a feedback. So, what I would tell you is, if you have a feedback, and when you say feedback, again, let me try to explain you a little bit further, because it is important. A feedback is an observation made by either you or a third person, and is relayed back to the person who delivered, or probably whoever we are speaking about. We will relay that message back to that person in a most genuine way, in a most trustful way, where probably I will explain what I saw, what I thought about what I saw, and what I think this person could have done better. Now, a feedback must have all these three things, the three elements, which is my own perception of what I saw, um, trying to explain him why I think what I think, and the most important part, what I think based on my experience, what I think that this person could have done to do things better. Now, when I'm giving this sort of feedback to any individual, I'm basically giving room for this individual to understand the context, and trying to help him understand how it can be perceived as a third person, or probably the person on the other side of the table. And without these three elements, which is context, perception, and my own experience and on how this person could have done better. Without these three elements, if I'm just giving a feedback without saying anything, if I just say that, hey, you know what, I have a feedback for you, I think you could have done better, and I stop at that, it's not feedback, it is a complaint. Now, if it is a complaint, then probably you must have the courage as a manager, or as any individual, you must have the courage to listen to the other side of the story as well. And if you don't, I'm sorry to say, you're just a complainer, you're just a whiner. You don't want, you're not interested in the genuine upliftment of your team member. You just want to kind of take out your anger on this poor chap who unfortunately is reporting to you, and he or she doesn't have any option, and he or she doesn't have any option than to just listen to you and just agree with you. And that is the worst kind of manager an individual can be. So if you're a manager, if you're a leader, or if you're a colleague, if you're a parent, if you're a sibling, if you're a husband, if you're a wife, if you're a friend, whatever you are, and if you have a feedback for any individual within your working space, or probably in your family, or probably in the social structure, if you have a feedback, first try to understand if it is it a feedback or is it actually a complaint. If it is a complaint, then probably there is another way to address that complaint. But if you think it is a feedback, if you think you can make, or you could have done things a little bit better, make sure you are giving those three elements to this individual so that he or she gets the context, gets the perspective of yours, gets to know why you think what you think, and then also, most importantly, keep it open for discussion. Do not close the door as soon as you share the feedback or as soon as you give the feedback. The best element of a feedback is, once it is delivered, are you open to listen to that individual? And if the answer is yes, congratulations. You have shown, or you have tried to bring a positive change in someone's life. But let's say if you're closing the door just right after complaining about his or her behavior or whatever, or if you think the feedback is given and your job is done without even listening to the other side of the story, then I'm sorry to say, probably you should not be in a people leader's role, or probably you should not be in a manager's role. With that, I'm gonna head to the last part, which is succession planning. Now I know succession planning can be a whole new episode, but I'll try to keep it crisp and short. Now, if you're giving a feedback, if you're mentoring an individual, if you are coaching an individual, if you are trying to improve someone's life within your team, probably there could be a situation, there could be an episode in all your one-on-ones, and probably in all your years working with this individual, you would have realized that, okay, this individual is probably going to be ready for a particular role in near future, or maybe in future. It doesn't have to be immediate, it can be sometime in future. You think that, okay, this person has all the right traits to become a, let's say, if we are speaking about, let's say, if we are speaking about, let's say, a support engineer, or let's say a software engineer, as a manager, you would have realized, or you would have observed, that this person is showing all the traits of becoming a principal software engineer. And that is how you will structure your mentoring sessions, structure your coaching sessions. That's how you will try to give the feedback as well, so that over a period of time, this individual not only becomes a better employee, a better team member, but also benefits because of all this, and probably gets a reward for it by actually becoming whatever he or she wants to become. So let's say if this engineer wants to become a principal engineer sometime, you would have trained this individual in all your one-on-ones, in all your discussions, to become a principal engineer. So when the time comes, this person is ready. Likewise, let's say if you have an individual who is interested in becoming a people leader or a people manager, That is how you will structure your mentoring sessions. That's how you will structure your coaching sessions. That's how you will structure your, let's say, whenever you have a feedback, that's how you will structure your feedback. When you say, when you think of someone to become a people leader, or if you think that, okay, this individual wants to become a people leader, let's say 5 years down the lane, your feedback will be centered around how an individual can become a better people leader. And whatever your observations would be for last 5 years, you would be sharing those learnings, you will be sharing those observations in such a way that this person keeps on getting better and better and better. And when the time comes, which is 5 years in our example, 5 years from now, this person would have transpired himself into becoming a better people leader and will be ready for that role, which is good for you, because then you can probably move on to your next role as well. Because now, as a manager, you know that the team would be in a safe hand, and then probably you can get on to your next role as well and start learning new things to be better prepared. So yeah, all in all, these were some of the topics I think is important for any people leader. And if you liked what I spoke here, feel free to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if there is any element where you think I can get better, please put that on the comment section, and I promise to get that corrected as soon as I can. Thanks. Have a great day.